JJ Barnes and you are watching my creative writing advice series. So today I'm answering a question that I got over on Twitter from Annie B, and I'm putting her handle and her Twitter account and everything in the description below, so go find her, go chat to her. Annie is a great member of the writing community over there. She's really cool, she shares loads of people's work, so go find her. If you're into writing, that is a good account to follow, so go find Annie. But today I'm answering a question she gave me, which is all about how to connect with your character's emotions in a scene without getting overwhelmed, because there's so many characters and they're all feeling so many things, and it's difficult sometimes to be able to connect with them in the way you need to, because it's your story and the characters are your story, so you need to feel what your characters are feeling, but it can be a little bit too much, and you need to be able to feel them as strongly as you feel so that you can translate that onto the page. But you're a person and you're going to struggle sometimes with how much you're taking in. So first I'm going to talk about how to put your character's emotions onto the page. And a lot of that you do through something called show, don't tell. Now I'm sure you've all heard show, don't tell before, because it's a really common piece of writing advice that you get given like from primary school up really, but it's not always explained very well, because show, don't tell, okay, but we have to tell, we're writers, that's our job. We have to tell the audience what those characters are feeling, because otherwise they won't know. But what it means is you don't just say, that character is angry, that character is sad. That is the telling. And it will make sense to your readers, because we all know what anger feels like, we all know what sadness feels like. It's not going to be lost in translation. They will know what you're talking about and they will understand. But it's a bit flat and dull, because you won't feel that feeling with them, and you want your reader to share the emotions and feel the emotions that your characters are feeling, because it brings your story alive. It makes your story feel more interesting, more vibrant. So you want to try and bring those emotions that your characters have and infuse them into your story in a way that makes your reader feel them too. So the show part of this, if your character is sad, you don't say, so-and-so is sad. You talk about how their body is physically reacting to that sadness. Their body reactions are something that we will understand and connect with because we felt those things. You talk about how their heart is hurting, how their head is swarming. You talk about how their hands are clammy, how they're trying so hard not to cry, the way their chin is shaking, the way their eyes are burning and pricking as they try to hold back the tears. You talk about all those sensations that you get in your body and put those down. Talk about the pain. Feel the pain that you have felt before and bleed it onto the page. Talk about all the ways you felt, how it affected you, what caused it. Because the more real it is to you and the more intensely you feel when you're writing it, the more real it's going to read to your readers. And that's the show part. That's the show how they're feeling by showing how their body changes, how their feelings impact them, how it fills them. And it will fill your audience too. But now, of course, here's the bit. How do you stop it being too much? Because it could be too much both for your reader and for you. Because sometimes there's a lot of feelings going on in a scene. And there's a lot of things you have to feel. And if you think about the normies, the people who aren't writers, who are out there, they are struggling with their feelings. They're struggling to cope with their emotions, just like you are, just like I am. And they're only trying to carry the emotions of one person. We as writers are trying to carry the emotions of however many characters we're trying to create. And that can be intense, and it can be hard, and it can be overwhelming. And especially if you're someone who feels a lot, like I do, and I presume like Annie does, because she's asked for this advice. If you feel a lot, trying to feel the emotions and translate them of every single person. And if you've written thousands of characters, like I think I'm probably notching up the thousands now if you combine the books and the TV and the film, you're gonna have a lot of emotions you're trying to carry and a lot of emotions you're trying to track, because I'll talk about that in a minute. The way you have to try and do this, and it can still be overwhelming, I have cried writing, so it's okay that if sometimes it feels too much. When you're in a scene, pick one character, the POV character, the point of view character, whose emotions you are sharing. It'll probably be your protagonist, but it won't always be, and that's fine. It'll probably be your protagonist. And you channel and connect yourself to what that one person is feeling. But it doesn't negate the emotions that everybody else in that scene is going through. But you're only forcing your way into that one character. Write about how they feel. But then, of course, because everybody else is still feeling, and everyone is the protagonist of their own story, and their emotions all matter just as much, you have your POV character interpret how they feel, based on their body language, based on their tone of voice, based on their knowledge of their history, based on how their face moves. Because we're all the time communicating with each other in ways that aren't just spoken. We are bodies, we are faces, we are movement, we are life. So it's all over us. Everything we are feeling is translating through our bodies. So other people are reading that. And especially if you move your hands a lot like I do, you might have noticed. I am very, very expressive physically. So I'm quite easy to read. But then other people are harder to read. So use that about them. Have your POV character struggling to interpret how the more reserved people are feeling. Have them empathize with how the more expressive people are feeling. Or if they're in a fight with somebody, that can be used again really well to make massive conflict. If they can't tell how someone's feeling, they might interpret it wrongly. And it might cause a bigger fight. So focus on your POV character. Use the show don't tell for them by feeling what they're feeling and pushing that into how they respond to all of their emotions. And have them interpret the feelings of the other characters, rather than trying to directly feel them and express that yourself. Then you have tracking your character's emotions. Because, as you know, you have to keep those consistent through your story. Make sure that when you move between scenes, whatever your character was feeling in the previous scene, it's still with them. It doesn't have to stay with them. Everyone can come out with emotions, and we can go from angry to happy, we can go to scared to laughing. All of us, we all do that. We all move between our emotions. But you have to show them do it. Let your audience be part of that, which means, again, you have to carry all this in your head, and it can be hard and it can be overwhelming. But if you forget what a character was feeling because it's just got a bit too much, that emotion is then lost, and your character breaks, and they stop feeling real. Your characters have to be real, which means their emotions have to be consistent, and they have to be real as well. I hope this has helped, and Annie, thank you very much for your question, and I will see you over on Twitter, I'm sure. And yeah, if anyone wants to ask me a question as well, you can either put a comment down below and I will try and do videos to help everybody, or you can find me on social media. There's Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. I'm on all of those all the time, sharing what I'm doing, hearing about what you're doing, sharing what you're doing. So come find me and we can talk about it, and we can hopefully all together become better and more confident writers, because that is what I'm doing here. I am trying to help you, and you guys help me too, because I learn a lot. So thank you very much. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. It helps me keep bringing you these videos. And yeah, I'll be back again soon. Bye.